examples. Let's say I want to create a post, or I'm creating a new page and content for this page, and I want to be able to have columns on this page. Let's take a look at the website. I'm going to open a new tab. And here we know that when we create posts, they generally end up looking like this. They flow in line, and we can actually go into the post and see more of the content. For example, you can click in, and we see pastor's bio. Now let's say I have a lot of copy and I want to have this copy maybe flow into 2 columns. I'm going to show you how to do that. First, I'm going to copy this content just as a sample because we're going to create a test. So I'm going to copy some of this content, not all, just to show you. Let's say I'll copy that. Right click, copy. I'm going to go back to where I have my list of posts, and remember there's a couple of ways to create new posts. We have here, new post. We also can create it here from the actual post dialog. So I'm going to say add a new post. And this is just going to be a temporary post. I'm going to delete it when I'm done. So we're just going to call this delete. Okay. So now I copy that content from my clipboard. I'm going to paste it. I'm going to, did want the picture. We don't need that. But I just want this text. So as we can see, I am going to not show this on the website. So here where it says visibility, I'm going to say private. I'm going to save a draft of it. Wait for the browser to refresh because remember we're working over the internet. I have a draft of it, but I'm just going to say update. It is published, but no one will be able to see it because I put the visibility to private. And it says it here. The status is that it's privately published. Okay, but if I want to take a look at this, I say preview. WordPress will take me to the post to show me what it looks like. It says delete in the title, and I have one big block of copy. So again, let's say I wanted to flow this into 2 columns. I can click here for editing the post. I can also click up here where it says edit post. I'll click here. If you look here in your toolbar, right here, you can see if you hover over it, it says Advanced Column Manager. So we click that. And here we can see we have 2 columns kind of set up already. Right? But what I need to do, which is important, is I need to select the copy that I want to actually put into columns. So I'm going to select everything. If I only wanted to put this into 2 columns, I would just select that one paragraph. So again, I click the Advanced Column Manager, and I can see the selected text in the bottom window. The area that you have to work with is 700 pixels wide. That's always what that area width is when you're working on that layout. Again, if we take a quick look, that's how wide this area is. So we basically want to put that area into 2 columns. We go back here. We can simply see that we have columns set up for us. It automatically gives us a gutter to say how far apart we want the columns, and we say that we want 2 columns. You can go more than 2 columns. Let's say maybe you have columns of links, just short words or links. You can put those into more than 2 or 3 columns, maybe even 4 columns. But generally speaking, for readable text, we don't want to go any more than 2 columns. The drawback with columns is that on mobile devices, columns can sometimes be difficult for people to read. So keep that in mind. So here I select the text that I want to put into which column. I'm going to take that, I'm going to cut it and paste it there. Make sure I have a return, take the next paragraph, cut it. I have a space in there, see my return space, and hit enter. And you always, in WordPress, you want to be careful of extra spaces and extra returns. WordPress tries to interpret those as intentional, and sometimes they may not be. So if your layout doesn't look right, go back and check for extra spaces or extra returns. And we're just going to take the rest of everything just to show you. I'm going to cut it. I'm going to paste it here. Then I say save. And then we can see here in the window that WordPress has created our columns. If I update this, say view the post, I can see that I have 2 columns of content created for me based on the copy that I placed in the column windows. If I wanted to remove these columns, I could simply just copy this text so I'm going to copy. I'm going to edit the post. And really, once you've created the columns, you can't really manipulate them. It gets kind of challenging, but it's simple enough in WordPress to just start over. And here I pasted just back my text, and I lost my columns. I'm going to update. I'm going to view the post again. And as I said, this is that cache issue. You can see that what we had in our edit window doesn't reflect what we're actually seeing here in this post. So this is a case where I would empty my cache in my browser, or if I have another browser available, open this page in another browser to see if I still have the issue. So again, I'm going to edit this post, and what we're going to try now is I'm going to show you what if you had a table of information. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to say update. Let's see if we're still experiencing that cache issue. I'm going to view the post again and see we are, because we deleted our content. So that's something to be aware of when working with WordPress. Again, very important that sometimes you may need to clear your browser's cache and history in order for WordPress to actually recognize that you've updated this. Even though you don't see it, what you've done here in the editing window has been done. It's just that your browser is looking at a previous snapshot of the page, and in order to get rid of that snapshot, we need to clear the browser cache. But I'm going to continue for a moment without clearing. Now let's say I wanted to add a table. How would I do that? I would simply use something like Excel. Here I already created some numbers in an Excel table. I have them all highlighted. I'm going to copy. I'm going to go back to my editing window, and I'm going to just simply paste it. Again, in the visual editor. There is a difference between the visual and the text editor. If we looked at this in the text editor, we can see that we have actually the interpretation of the code here. So the way to look at it is that the text view is for working with code, and the visual editor is the simple format that you'll predominantly work in, environment that you'll work in. So now I update that post. And we wait for the browser to refresh. We can see here that it's still going through. It says the post has been updated. Okay, I've got my window back, and I'm going to look at the post again. And just to show you this cache issue in action, I'm going to reset my browser. Reset everything. Unfortunately, what happens is that actually logs me out and clears my cache for my login. So now when I go back to Universal Baptist Church.org, I can't see that delete post unless I'm logged in, because remember I set the visibility to private. So I'm going to log into the site again. So you notice we don't see it anywhere, and we don't see it here in our latest updates. So I log in. If I look at all my posts, here's my delete post, and I can just click view here to see it. And notice, now I see the table. Again, this is the example of the cache issue that you'll experience sometimes with WordPress when you make content contributions. So please keep that in mind. And as we can see, WordPress has formatted my table. I could simply just go in here and bold this if this were actual header information, or bold these numbers, or even give these letters different numbers, different colors if I wanted to. And just to show you that, we'll go into Edit. And again, sometimes this may happen to you. You'll experience slow browser times. We'll open up our window. Just give more real estate. Here in the visual editor, as I wait for this to all refresh, I would select this row. Maybe let's make this, we know the site operates with the colors of orange and black. So here let's pick an orange. And this one is generally the family that you should be in, that middle orange. We'll actually make these guys bold. Font size here. Maybe we'll even make them a little bit bigger. Let's say 14. Or even maybe 16 down there. We'll say update. Again, we wait for the browser to refresh. Let's take a look at the post. Again, I don't see my change because of the cache issue. But I think you know how you'd fix that. And that's it for columns and tables.